Opportunity survives the opportunist. Dreams, goals, aspirations. Dedicated, fuck how long it take. We never waited, we elevated. Thought we was gonna stop, we accelerated.
So,
through all the ups and downs.
Welcome to our show. This is TMC. We are glad to be back and finally shooting some more stuff for you guys.
Probably gonna give me some energy here.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's going on, everybody? People don't even know what TMC is, but this is the Marathon Continues podcast. And this is episode 1, actually a retake of episode 1. We had the first episode somewhere in storage, but we kind of lost it. I have no idea where it's at. But we're excited to finally get this going for you guys. We've been putting this on the back burner for probably a few months now. And man, we actually recorded the first podcast. We didn't even have our product ready to launch, dude. So it's kind of crazy from then to, here soon we'll be having our second product already. So
Yeah, that's crazy. I think it's actually really funny. I forgot that the first time we shot, we didn't even have anything going on yet. We were just talking about our product, not even like having it.
do we have the label?
Dude, we didn't even have the label. We had that watery paper one you shot the first.
Yeah, we shot it. All right, we ain't gonna go into that. So, but hey, we're here now. Man, we launched probably about 90 days. We're 90 days into the business, and we've had a lot of, honestly, a lot of great moments, man. A lot of learning points, a lot of checkpoints, a lot of things that I've learned personally and grown from, and we're excited to grow with you guys and bring on hopefully new potential people to the Hype community. So I guess we can kind of reintroduce ourselves on who we are, what we're about, and Esteban will kind of lead you into that or I guess we'll lead into what is Hype, what does it stand for, and what do we plan on doing in the future with it?
Just to start off, this is our product here. This is our baby. This is kind of what we've been doing the last 90 days, and prior to those 90 days, everything we were working for. So to start off, Hype it stands for Hit Your Peak. We were trying to find a name that kind of embodied like what we're trying to do. Not what the product's trying to do for you, but what are we trying to do with our community? What are we trying to do with our people? What are we trying to do with our following? And that's hitting our peak and being models for people to continue hitting their peak, right? And honestly, every step that we take with this product, you just learn more and more in the kind of people we're impacting, with how many people actually know of our product. We're a very local company here in Houston. We're just known for high quality product that is not here for the margins, but is here to really impact people's lives.
And just kind of want to touch on, we've been at it for about 90 days now. I'm super grateful for all the support we've gotten thus far. I didn't expect any of this, to be honest with you. The amount we've already grown, and it's crazy to think that I've seen people with our product in hand and actually using it. Like, to me, it's just kind of a weird thing to even see it on the shelf. You can get it at your local Total Nutrition Houston. So we are a local company, like I said, based out of Houston right now, but we plan on growing, countywide, hopefully statewide, and then countrywide, and reaching as many people as possible, because like you said, it's not about the margin, and it's really about what we're backed by and what we stand for. And like I said, it's hit your peak, and that's not only in the gym, right? That's whether it's your workplace, your relationships, any aspirations or goals that you may have. It's going to translate. One thing translates onto the next, and that's kind of what we maybe want to talk about here in a little bit. But so when we came up with this business and this concept, we didn't want it to just be a product. We want it to be a whole brand, and something that brand stands behind, and I think that's our foundation.
Yeah. I think the thing is, it's very relatable. I think it's something that we all aspire to be. Whether some people have it unsaid, some people it's so unconscious to them that they don't realize that's what they're doing. But we're always striding for more. That's a big reason why our podcast is called TMC. The Marathon Continues. That incessant need to push towards this balance between pushing yourself as hard as you can to keeping the sustainability of it. Always aspiring to be more and striding and waking up every day and being like, how can we be better? It may not be a 10% increase every day, but like that 1% makes a big difference. But yeah, I think, and what we can talk about next here is a little bit about what we stand for individually, kind of how we came about with this, and a little bit of what we're doing in the moment, that we are living by our model, living with our, our what is it, our slogan, right? Hype. What is it? I mean, would you like to start? Go ahead.
And it kind of goes back to, the hit your peak. We just don't want to be, frauds behind the brand. We want to actually be someone who aspires to be the best that they can at anything they do. So before we both actually have full-time jobs. Mine is actually owning a multimedia business. It's been going on strong full-time for about 2 years now. And through that 2 years and that process, I've been doing it for about 6 years when I first picked up a camera, and that's kind of what's led me to doing it as a side hustle throughout college, and then going into 2019 into a full-time business. And that time period has really taught me so much about consistency, how hard work really turns into again, I keep going back to foundation, but really once you lay down a foundation, it's the seed. It sprouts into so many different things. And if you had told me 2 years ago the people that I've been working with and the amount of relationships I've gotten to grow and really develop, that's the best part, is the people I've met. And so and that's what I want to translate into hype. And that's why I wanted to start this podcast, because I think there's a lot of, especially young people, that have the hunger, the drive, but there's really not a voice for it. Like, there's a lot of people that there's a big wall, but there's a lot of old people. There's a lot of, I guess, people who have already made it, but we're still in the process. We're just starting the process. So I think that's what I'm excited for, is to be a part of, or y'all be a part of this journey, whether that's the lows, because the lows are going to be low, but the highs are going to be high. And we want y'all to be transparent with every single part of that process too, because that's life. And that's, to be honest with you, the downs are what you learn most from. I don't know if you can attest to that.
Yeah. I mean, I think you said it best. It's like, we're very relatable. The people our age aren't all millionaires and billionaires yet, But with that, it makes it very relatable, the struggle of like waking up and, like, you may have not won the day at 6 p.m. and it's 7 p.m., 7:30, and you have the choice of like, should I start winding down and going to bed, or should I just go get on the treadmill real quick, 30 minutes on the treadmill, or should I get that meal prep for the next day, or so many little things like that. It's like, and I know this from firsthand, like, even people my age at the moment, I see are lost. There's a lot of lost right now in society. It's like, we're all looking for how to be better every day. There's still others that are lost, but I don't know. It would be nice to have a very relatable side of things, instead of this intimidating, like, we're perfect in, all these ways, but instead going through the whole journey with you. But for me, my story is kind of a little different. I was an accounting student from University of Houston, and I've always loved technology, and I kept saying it, and I kept on like just putting it in the air. And slowly enough, like, it manifested. Instead of becoming a CPA, I ended up in a position to be a software engineer, which is amazing. It's always pushing me, challenging me. There's people who have been coding their whole life, and, coming in new faces. It's hard, but it pushes me to challenge me in areas that I could have never imagined. I never thought I would be a tech person. But yeah, I think for me, what makes me kind of stride every day, push myself every day. There's a book that I read a long time ago. It's called 4 Agreements. And it's almost like, it's not religious. It's past religion. It's almost like they try to mute religion. It's more of like love. Love is like, a lot of people put love before. Like, they say love is religion, right? God, But when you think of it, even someone who doesn't believe in God, you go to love. And with love, like, you fall into this boat of like full passion, of like, you're fully there, presently there in that moment. But it was something I learned from that book, was to be impeccable with your word. That means like you're 100% accurate. Like, when something is said, it's going to be done. There's nothing that can get in between that, that it's not going to get done. And another one that took me a long time to learn was not taking things personally. With that one, I find myself taking things personally, where it's like at work, if they prefer a better developer, get their hands dirty in something, like, I don't take it personally. Instead, I take it as a tip, It's like, hey, I'm not as competent as I could be at the moment. So little things like that. So it's just about being humble enough to say, I'm not going to take things personally.
I can definitely agree to that, because like when I first started with, videography and stuff, I could 100% agree that I knew I wasn't the best videographer, but the competitive side in you, in your mind, you see yourself already in the future, but you're not there yet. Like, so when I didn't get a job because there was a better videographer than me, you couldn't take it personal. Just say, hey, all right, this is the guy, or this is the reason why he got the job or she got the job. There's some things I may need to work on. So at the end of the day, there's a lesson learned, I think, every one of those types of situations. So, and we talked about this the other day, ego has a lot to do with that, right? And if you don't take ego out of certain things, your room for growth is stunted very quickly. Because, to me, like this business, we know there's a lot of better competitors right now, but we know 100% in the back of our minds that we're coming for them, we're going to learn. But without ego, if we already put ourselves at the best, at the top, it's not the case. We have to have one foot in front of the other, the consistency, the hard work that puts it in to grow. And so again, I don't know if the ego kind of goes back to that.
This world is already hard enough as it is. There's already competition outside of you. It's a lot easier to be successful. It's a lot easier to grow. It's a lot easier to attain your goals if you don't get in your own way as well. And the thing is, some people don't even get past themselves, much less past other people. So you get in this point where you're stuck beating yourself instead of actually competing with the real competitors. So again, ego is a big hindrance to any success you want.
It's that thought, and I had a whole recording on this. It'll be out here pretty soon. It's the act of doing. And within that, it's usually, like you said, your battle with your own self of, is who's thinking about me? Like, what if I do this certain action? Like, if I say you want to start in the gym, say you're not in the gym, but you really want to get at it, but man, I'm going to go in the gym and not know anything, how to do this machine, how to really start a workout program. It's intimidating. It is intimidating going to a full packed gym.
What you're trying to say is just because you assume that people are going to be judging you because you don't know what you're doing.
Sorry, the caffeine.
You're good. Start that over.
We might have taken a scoop of hype before this, so we're a little bit caffeinated. We're zoned in, but going to that point of, if you're always there's always constant thoughts in your mind, you're never going to start, and you're never going to take that first step. And you're never going to reach, you have all these goals, these aspirations, where you want to go and where you want to be. But at the end of the day, people always are going to be talking or going to have their own opinions. But still, at the end of the day, you're not that big of a deal. And it sounds kind of bad, but people have their own problems, their own situations, their own thoughts and their own minds that they have to deal with. So you really just have to do, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah, so I'm kind of going to bridge this into the next point. We're talking about not taking things personally. And a lot of times ego, you're always taking things personally because you think things are centered around yourself. And again, we all fight this battle. There's not a person in this world that doesn't fight this battle. It's a spectrum more than an on-off switch, So it's about it's that balancing game that I was saying, right? It's keeping it down and making sure that the ego doesn't come up. But on the same point, on this next point that, I was reading about not making assumptions. An assumption you make if you've never been in the gym and you want to, that assumption is, man, people are going to judge me. I'm not going to know what to do. Well, you know what? There's ways to kind of placate that. There's ways to cover that and just be like, look, I'm going to be well prepped. I know I'm going to do 4 machines when I go in. I'm going to keep it simple, 45 minutes. I already YouTubed how to do this, and this. And what am I hitting? I don't know yet. Let me keep research. Okay, I'm going to hit nothing but triceps today. And that's my goal for the day. You're going to kill that. You may not understand it yet. You may not have the muscle-mind connection yet, but you went in there prepped and you were there ready. So those assumptions you're making that people are going to judge you, they won't even be there regardless if you weren't doing that. So not making assumptions really helps, from a lot of different ways. Like I can take it back to our company, and we don't want to make assumptions like, oh, it's going to take us 7 months to sell out. Or, you're making assumptions. Allow there to be this creative notion of like aspirations that can just sit there and we can try to reach for it. Let there be a target. When you cut yourself off short, you don't have that.
And I think also, and this can kind of relate back to hype and the person that is just starting in the gym, there's usually still like, people don't know, say you post on Instagram or say you post on social media or even just talk about it. Most of your friends, your family, like you're going to say, hell yeah, you're kicking ass. Like I see you getting after it once you start doing it, and they see you're like, man, you're taking this serious. Like you're actually trying to make a change, and what that does is actually inspires the guy next to you. It's actually going to inspire a community, and you don't realize it. Mm-hmm. And it kind of goes back to like videography. I guarantee people didn't see, like when I first started, it was maybe one person, but I think now, even when I read the comments, I'm so grateful to say, hey, that they started their own business, that they started what they always wanted to do because they see me taking these next steps. And to me, that's what it's all about. So yeah, there's going to be maybe that one guy or one girl that says something, but probably 95 and 96, 97% of them are for you, for your change and for the better. Because if not, then those people are just for pure evil, and you got to wash those people aside, because that's life. It's always going to happen.
There's different people that are here for us, right? There's the haters, which isn't a common ground. There's going to be this small portion that are hating because of insecurity. But there's also going to be a group of people that love you and that don't, when you love your kid, you try to keep your kid safe. So a lot of people that do love you will try to almost bring you down so that you don't fail. So because you won't even try. They want to stop you at the root before you get there. And that in itself is also bad, but it is a healthy thing for some people to feel insecure for you, feel that, you feel that risk, So you don't listen to those people, but you understand the love that they're giving you. And then there's going to be people who silently support you. They see you and they're like, wow, what courage it takes for them. They won't say it to anybody because that takes a lot of vulnerability. And then there will be the last group, and that's the people that will support you and will be willing to say that out loud. So when we focus on the first two tiers, not the last two tiers, like it's all up from here, man. And those last two tiers, they're not talking out of truth. They're talking out of insecurity.
I was literally just about to make that point. Is in a lot of people, and me, myself included, it's that one person said, well, why are you doing all that extra work? Why are you doing 2 cardio sessions? Why are you working out 6 times a week? It goes back to the insecurity, right? It's their own self that they know themselves they're not doing the work. They're kind of getting behind. So at the end of the day, man, kind of put yourself, I'm doing something right. I'm on a right track. I'm on the right road to success, or wherever it is my goal or where I want to get to.
Yeah. And the thing is, these questions, these insecurities questions and like questions of your aspirations, they don't come from just random people that you knew in your life. It doesn't come from just, regular Joe friends either. It comes from like the people that love you the most as well. And it's understanding that they come from a good place, and they want to keep you safe. It's not that they're trying to tear you down. So it's knowing that your voice is above that. Your aspirations are above their aspirations for you. But anyways, the first 3 points that I kind of brought up, those are the hardest ones I've been working on. This last point has been something that I've done naturally my whole life, because this is the only thing I have felt like I had control over, and that's always doing your best. And for me, like, it didn't matter what we were doing. Like, I was always chasing the person that was better than me. I was always chasing to be better. It didn't matter if it was like things, a quick story. When I was in 2nd grade, there was some girl I had a crush on. She made fun of my handwriting one time. You know what I did for the whole summer straight? I asked my mom to buy me a cursive book and then a regular font book, and all I did was trace my letters the whole summer. I already knew how to write. Came back with better handwriting than her the next summer. Guess what she was saying was, "Wow, what great handwriting you have." I'm just saying, like,
You saying you got a good handwriting?
I have some pretty good handwriting.
I don't know. The competition we got board right now.
With anything, I think there's something to just being proud. Understanding like you're on this earth once and your output should be as most proud as it can be. The most high quality work that you can give. And the thing is, once that system is in place where it's natural for you to do these things, it's not a chore anymore. It's not something where you have to dig in and get this like super high intensive energy in your mind just to focus on this notion. Instead, it becomes this thing where it's like, I'm going to. Like, that's just, there's no questions asked. That's just who you are now because the system's in place.
And a lot of people think that, oh, this extra work, it's going to take up so much more time out of my day or out of my family. But actually, and I'd say I first dabbled into this when I listened to Jocko Willink when he said discipline equals freedom. And I never really grasped that term until you get on a routine, until you get on a specific regimen, because that actually frees up more of your time. And it does become nonchalant. When you work out for so long, for months at a time, for 60, 90 days, it actually becomes a want to, not a need to. It becomes actually a mental clarity or whatever it is it does. A lot of people, you call me crazy if you're not in the gym now, but all the gym rats, they know what I'm talking about. But
I can attest to that. I mean, yesterday, yesterday, I worked out twice, and then we got back, and we were doing a fantasy football. Let me back up real quick. So I worked out in the morning with my fiance, and we did a bunch of accessories and some leg press, and it was a good workout. It was like around 8 a.m. And then Kyle and I decided, let's go to Roman Empire, this awesome gym in Clear Lake. And it's just beautiful gym. We got a great compound lift in, a few good content. And then we got home and we had a fantasy draft. We ate some dinner. And then after I was like, man, I kind of want to go work out. And like, it's almost like it's a craving. And it's such a good craving. It's not a craving that you feel shame for, a craving you feel guilty for, you know?
And that craving, it I don't know how to explain this. It translates into other aspects of your life. It translates into you being a great father, you being the best boyfriend, the best girlfriend, the best mother, whatever, and then also the best at your work. It translates into so many aspects. Once you get the ball rolling, it's a snowball effect. It really is. And we talked about this on the car ride home of, there's a certain type of person when you just get it right off the bat of, man, this guy's locked in, this girl's locked in on what it is, or he or she, and it's not something that is you're born with. It's something that is developed. And we talked about this again on the car ride that in high school I did not have that, and it was something until really college, and it took me through the disciplines, the tough times to really grab that want to, that will to aspire to be a better person, because it's easy to get caught in. I'd say, I don't call it the rat race. I don't call it, but it's really easy to get caught up in a certain, not subpar routine, but it's just to get complacent. Complacency is a big trap. And now that I've been in it for so long, complacency is something I never want to look back to or never want to do again, because at the end of the day, I always want to be growing into something better, a better version of myself, because that's what life's about to me. That's the bigger picture, right? You want to be better for whoever it is around you.
Mm-hmm. I think a word to kind of encapsulate that is gravitas. It's a word I learned a long time ago, but I understand it more and more, and it's kind of like how you carry yourself, and it's almost like an unsaid thing, and it's an awesome thing, but that's something we kind of. That attracts me to people. It doesn't matter if you're a girl, a guy. Like, it just attracts me. I'm like, that's a guy I want. That's a guy I want to go to war with. That's a guy I want to go start a company with. It's like that with everything. And I find it immediate when I talk to someone. And I'm not saying you need to be like, hey, I run 10 miles every day. No, it's just like how you carry yourself. You don't waste your own time. You're on this earth with a purpose, and you're on this earth for a reason. And you know that about yourself. And a lot of people nowadays, they don't walk around knowing what their purpose is. And, hopefully you'll find it. Everybody will find it one day. But it's awesome to see people who are young who understand that purpose.
And I think that's a tough thing, especially, dude, at our age, is finding that purpose. And like, there's days where I seem lost. Every day you wake up is, yes, it's not as easy as it said, like, oh, I woke up and chose videography, or, oh, I chose and woke up in hype. But what I realized is when I started doing the disciplinary actions, the things that really wanted, or when I wanted to become a better version of myself, it led me into these different avenues that led me to find my passion. It was weird, but when I wanted just to be complacent, I felt at an all-time low. And then it's through the trial and error, right? But it's whatever I did. It might have been something I hated, but I went full 100%, say, okay, I'll check this off the list, and let's go on to the next thing.
Look, something I learned recently from one of Andy's podcasts. Andy, can you say his last name?
Andy Frizella, shout out, First Form, we're coming for you. Really have great podcast, great content, though.
Yeah, for me, something they said the other day was like, and I think of this a lot of times, it's a big spectrum, what we're seeking for. And it starts off with motivation. Everybody's always looking for motivation every day. And they don't realize, like, that's where it starts off. That's where this journey of being better every day starts off. You start off with, how can I get motivation? How can I get motivation? Then the next step is, how can I create discipline every day? How do I create discipline? That's like, it's even harder than to just create motivation. Motivation can come in an instant. It's all about feeling, and things like externalities can create motivation. But then discipline comes in next. It's like, how can you create a system of discipline, right? And it's one of those things that, like, you don't truly fully understand until you're there, until you're doing it. And it's not a chore, but the discipline, it's almost like you would rather not do the wrong thing than the right thing, like every single time. And the last thing, and this is what I'm working on now, and it's diligence. Diligence is the hardest thing to attain, and it's something that, and it's, I was talking to my brother, my little brother, he's 13. I'm like, dude, you need diligence, you need pride, you need these things in order for life to be easier, right? And that's kind of, it goes back to discipline equals freedom, right? Go ahead, what were you saying?
No, that's literally what I think we're kind of on the same page, is like showing up. And again, Andy Frizella said this, it's, showing up is not half the battle. It's, you can show up to the battle and get your ass kicked every single time. Is how hard are you going to, I think that goes back to preparation. Preparation leads to execution. So if you show up at your work every day, say you have a job, are you going to be the best at your job that you can be so you can move up in whatever it is you want to do, or whatever goal, or whatever promotion, or whatever PR you want to hit? Execution is the ultimate leader of leveling up. I think that'll always stay the same whatever it is you do. It's a 3-piece formula, and you can't have 2 out of 3. You can't have 1 out of 3. It has to be a full circle. It's got to come back around. And I think diligence is often misled, and it's not really talked about a lot. The diligence is a really doing, if you show up and you get that 1% better every day, that is going to add up quickly over time. And you look back in a year, even 6 months, people underestimate how much you can do in 6 months. You're like, damn, just by due diligence, I've gotten really far with whatever it is I wanted to do.
Yeah, and diligence, like, when you're being diligent. You're nearing a flow state, right? I think a flow state may even be a little higher than diligence, but
recording about the roast, so hey, this is a learning process. Anyway, so here just wanted to summarize kind of some points we went over today, and we're kind of I think we had 4 main points, I believe.
Yeah. So, original, like, this is our local company that we love. Hype is something. Yeah, we're recording. Hype is not just a brand. It is a community that we're chasing to create. We want people surrounding us so we can be better every day and hold each other accountable. Whether that means you're attaining goals that you've never even thought you could, or just being better every day through your work life, or being a better person in general. We also covered awesome points that just can help anybody who doesn't know where to go or how to get to this point of just being better every day. And it comes from a book that I've read called Four Agreements. It's choosing to be impeccable with your word. That means that you will not speak anything that is not true. You will not speak negatively, but positively. And the second point is don't take things personally. Don't allow your ego to get ahead of you, and don't allow other people to hinder you from accomplishing what you want to accomplish. And the third point, don't make assumptions, because once you make assumptions, you limit yourself and you cut yourself in the head. The last point is always do your best. And this is something that you should be doing every single day. And if you struggle with this point, then it's probably the most important point. It doesn't matter if it's a small thing or a big thing. Always do your best. On that same note, with all those four things all those four tips and those four agreements that help you day to day, you'll slowly find yourself climbing this ladder of being better. And we were talking about it earlier. You start off with having motivation. It's a very inconsistent thing, but it is better than people who are unmotivated. So push yourself to become motivated. And then the next step from there is you slowly find yourself becoming disciplined. And once you become disciplined, you start seeing results. You see amazing results, day to day, putting one foot in front of the other. But then you slowly start realizing a certain way to step. There's a certain way to step. There's a certain way to breathe. There's a certain way to do things that make you diligent. And this is the top tier people in the world. These are the elite people in every realm that we live in. It's being diligent with the time that you're given. It's being able to show up every day and be the best you every day. And nowadays, we have people who aren't even in the motivation talk. They're in a point where they have no purpose. And without purpose, you end up doing nothing but chasing this long-lasting seek for desire.
Basically a ghost.
Yeah. And all that is just instant gratification. And this is the chase that we are on in TMC. Just chasing diligence, right? Chasing to be better every day. The reason we started this podcast, TMC, was so that you can follow us and we can all learn together how to be better every single day. Thank you guys so much for supporting us. Thank you for being here for us, whether it's our family, our friends, our new people. Thank you so much. Like and subscribe to our Instagram, our TikTok, or all the platforms that we have.
And I just want to, before we close out, and this is just for me personally, this is our first podcast, and I want to reiterate what Hit Your Peak is to me right now, and I want to see how it kind of changes through time. And I kind of said it before we stopped recording, but Hit Your Peak to me is what it has on the bottle, actually. I'm going to grab it here. And you can't see it now, but if you look on our bottle, it's a very rigid mountain. And there's a peak at the top, obviously. And when you're climbing that, it's rough. It's hard. There's nothing easy about it. And when you're looking from the bottom, when you're looking at that top, it seems impossible. But like you said, when you take that one step at a time, you're going to keep going further, higher and higher, until you get to that point. And that point, that peak, there's a lot of great things there. And this isn't just for me, for Estevan. This is for everybody. Like you said, this is a community. And we're all here to build each other up. And I expect to see everybody at this peak. So, like I said, I don't think that's going to change. But I just wanted to reiterate what that means to me, because it's something very personal to me, because that's why I'm passionate about this brand. I love helping people. Helping people is the most, going back to passion, that's what drives me. Because to see a smile on their face, to see them hit a result, it's awesome, dude. It's so great. So, like you said, make sure to catch us on YouTube, snippets on TikTok, snippets on Instagram, at Hype Nutrition, HYP again. So we'll be doing this, pretty much frequently every week, hopefully. So hopefully bring on some guests here in the near future. A lot of cool people we have in mind, so we're excited to bring that on. And Esteban, anything you want to add to this?
No, nothing of big. Nothing important, no.
All right, well, like I said, my name is Kyle Novak.
And Esteban Salinas.
And this is the no.
It's okay. Do it all.
No, I'm good. And this is the Marathon Continues podcast.